something, I'm like, okay, it's easy to do, and I try to plan everything out in my head. But the moment that I got to the bench and I had the gun in my hand and I was looking at the disc fly around, I couldn't even freaking like maneuver the gun to where I wanted it so I could hit the disc. So that's what I wanted to talk about today is the importance of getting out of your comfort zone and doing it quickly. Because a lot of times whenever we're coming up with a new idea or something that's going to put us out of our comfort zone, we try to figure everything out before we actually take the action plan to go out there and do it. And the same thing with me getting up to that bench. When it was my turn, even though I thought in my head that I could do it, there's so many other moves that you can't think about because you've never done it before. Mm-hmm. And the importance of getting out of your comfort zone as soon as possible so you can go out there and experience what you might or might not be good at, and you come back, reflect on it, and then become better at it. What did you guys have as an experience whenever we went out there that day?
Yeah, no, so it's like just anything else. Learning something, either you learn it by reading it, by watching something, or, kinesthetic learner where you can actually put your hands on it. So pretty much there's other people that have never shot it. I'm pretty sure they watch so many videos, but once they put their hands on it, they can see it, start practicing it, and then from there, you get a little bit more comfortable with it.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever shot a gun, so I don't know. I didn't know how to load it or how to, it was weird for me, but
yeah.
I didn't even load it myself. I let Jerry load it every time.
I was loading it for everybody.
Like, load it up.
Yeah, Jerry was
I was just making sure everybody was safe. So
honestly, I think it's been like probably my favorite event so far. I really liked, I don't know, the feeling of, being like in the atmosphere that I feel like the most like comfortable in. It was really interesting to me to see how everyone like interacted with everybody, not being in the regular environment where we have usually, or like meetings, or it's probably at a bar drinking or something. Mm-hmm. I feel like everybody was doing something like different, just like learning, just seeing, how other agents we're shooting and all of that. I feel like that was really how do I say it?
Exhilarating.
Yes, and it was like more like bonding. I think it's.
Oh, you know what? That is true. Yeah.
I feel like the fact that Jerry was helping us load the gun or whatever, just guiding there in between each other. I think that was really nice, and it's something that as a company I don't think that I've ever like experienced.
I think that was Vick's objective, right? He wanted to do some team building, right? Or he wanted to let everybody get out there and just help, like you said, help each other and you see some people that are really good, and sometimes some realtors are kind of intimidated by that person, right? Because they're like, oh my God, this guy does everything perfect, or this girl does everything perfect. And then she gets out there and she can't hit the clay, to save her life, or his life. And it just kind of equalizes everybody. And kind of, you have some realtors that can't close a house to save their life, and they're out there shooting every clay, So it just.
Well, there was only 3 people who were ready to hit something.
Just name them all.
Maybe they should concentrate on selling.
People now?
Maybe they should concentrate on selling homes and skip the hunting trip.
You know what? Now that you say that, I think what I took away from that is that I really enjoy doing that. I think I need to put myself more out there.
Yeah.
I could just like shooting every day.
Oh, definitely. I had fun. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, so I would like to do it more often as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've seen just other realtors, like I said, they'd never done it before. They were scared, and once they shot it, it shook them a little bit. They were kind of standing back, and then after, I guess, talking to other realtors that same no experience, and they try to talk to each other and help each other, then stepped up again, and pretty much they liked it. They still want to do it again.
I don't think you'll notice, right? And I didn't want to post it, right, because I didn't want to be controversial, but every clay that would shoot up in the air, it would have a sticker of Keller Williams, EXP, or this new company that just came out that I don't want to name.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. Didn't you pay extra for that?
Yeah. I didn't want to start no problems.
Yeah, I didn't notice that. But one thing that I did like was, and I think it's something that happens just in general, and even in our team meetings, and the reason why I like to have our meetings right in person, not necessarily online, is because whenever we were out there and one person would hit it, then people are like, oh, well, how'd you do it? You know, and they start asking each other questions about how they got that success, as corny as it sounds, right? But it does get everybody's juices going. It gets their mental abilities going to see, okay, how is he doing it? What did he do to get there? What did he do to hit it? And now people who thought that they couldn't, they were disappointed, now they're asking questions. Now they're over there trying again. And then finally they hit something. And I think that goes back to like the team atmosphere and what we try to create here. And when I have my meetings, right, is so everybody here, not only so you guys can hear me talk, that's not even the main part of the meeting. It's so the people that are here can share the successes, what's been going on with them, what's been working with them, and everybody else gets excited. And I think it was a perfect example in real life, in real time, of the skeet shooting.
Yeah. Most definitely, I think with your meetings, it's like when we get together, it's study kind of case studies. You know, somebody's going through a certain transaction that, you know, they might run into later on. You know, so when I was doing training in my other job, it's like we're watching another guy work, but we're also watching what he's going to run into. So when it comes to your turn, now you know that, you know, I need to watch out for this or ask these questions or, you know, talk a certain way.
I really like that, even though we're in like, you know, extremely competitive like career. Whenever we're out in the range, like whenever Jerry, like, you know, hit the desk or whatever, like everybody like cheered. And
Yeah.
I think that we're not used to, you know, having that, you know,
Support.
or treating like as atmosphere, because, you know, we do sales, we're doing what we're supposed to, like, I mean, for have like a team to clap at you because you got a house under contract, I mean, yes and no, I don't know.
Yeah, and that's actually a really good point, because whenever you're in sales, right, the only person that it really matters to, whether you're closing or not, is you, because the money, I mean, it only comes to you, right? Whether you close or not, the other people on your team, they're doing their closings or they're not doing their closings, right? It affects everybody individually, but whenever you bring everybody together in a group atmosphere, and the reason why I like to do my meetings in person is because your success, Flor, becomes everybody's success. Everybody gets excited about it. Your quote unquote failures or your lessons, right? You turn your losses, your L's into lessons. Then everybody gets to learn from that as well. So it's a team effort in the fact that, yes, not everybody's going to get paid from your commission, right? Which we wish we would, because she got some really good commissions, right? But they'll at least learn from it. And that's the whole point of bringing everybody back into office. And I don't know if you guys have been paying attention, but a lot of these bigger companies, Google, Apple, I think Microsoft as well, they're saying that they're done with the work from home. And I think it's because this aspect is missing from it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter
Yes.
what you do. You bring everybody into one place and having them learn, brainstorm together, and get the job done is way better than having everybody just separate off and doing things on their own time.
On their own. Yeah, I really like that. Honestly, I feel like that really, you know, made it seem like, you know, we're working as a team. You know, at the end of the day, you know, we're working for one goal like in common.
Yeah,
What
most
do you think,
definitely.
Nate?
Like I said, I think that I saw a lot of people talking out there that wouldn't talk to each other in any other situation, right? And it just kind of, you know, it kind of equalized everybody, you know, as far as that skill. I think there was only, like I said, it was only like 2 or 3 people that were kind of skilled at the game, and so it got them talking, it got them socializing, and I think that I mean, honestly, you know, I think we've done a team building before, and you know, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I think the aspect that was missing from this team building that all our other team building stuff has had was alcohol. We didn't have alcohol out there.
Yeah.
And I think that
That would have been fun.
no, not at all.
I would have not gone.
I think, you know, not turning it into a you know, drinking event,
A party,
into
I
a
guess,
party,
yeah.
into whatever, and making it an objective event, you know. I think it really helped all the agents as a whole. Everybody was excited. I mean, even some people that I would never, you know, would even think about would like that type of stuff. They were like excited.
I think everybody walked out of there with something, a new experience, a new feeling probably. So that was good. So I think it'll be great to do more of these events and just maybe more like problem solving, like those escape rooms and stuff like that.
Oh, that would be
something like
great.
that, where
That's
you know
a
you just
great
get
idea.
everybody to interact with each other. Like you said, people that were talking to other agents that never bonded before. You know, I think that's pretty good.
or a relay race.
Yeah,
that would be
that'd
good too. Yeah, since supposedly Nate can run fast. That's what he said.
Damn.
I can actually run really fast.
Yeah.
I can outrun Jovani.
That's what he says.
I'll pay to
That's
see
what he
that.
says.
Me too.
Yeah.
But-
I can't put money on the table.
I'll definitely. Definitely.
Flo, you're trying to break another ankle?
No, he said, I'm paying the money. I'm watching
I'll
y'all.
pay the money to watch
Oh, I
y'all.
thought you said me too. Oh, my bad. Talking about breaking out of your comfort zone, right? Sadly, I believe this is going to be our last podcast in the studio. We've been here, 6 years? And we've been doing this podcast for roughly maybe 2 years now, maybe a month and maybe a year and 8 months. But it is a change that we have to make. It was put on us unexpectedly. But talk about breaking out of your comfort zone and just adjusting. We just decided that we're going to go ahead and move it over to another studio that we have. And then from there, we'll figure out where we're going to do it permanently from. But it really does put you out of your comfort zone. And we had to think on our feet quick to decide what we're going to do, get all of these moving parts. Because, I mean, we legitimately have a podcast studio.
Yeah.
You know, this
Yes.
is legitimately, other people come here to use this for their personal content as well. So, I mean, it's not just something small. This is a major thing. And we had just remodeled, and now we have to move out.
We had just
You want to
remodeled.
talk about that?
We had just remodeled the other side, so we can be more of a feminine style for other people to use, and like probably it was done probably a week.
Yep, a week
Like
before
a
they gave
week
us that.
before.
Yeah, a week.
As soon as
before.
it was done and we were excited, we were like, oh man, this looks
Yeah.
nice.
I
But
think-
I'm excited.
I think that remodel is actually what got this building sold.
Oh, yeah. They saw the
They
window. They
saw
walked
it?
through the window.
Okay.
And
They
then
said,
they're
"Oh
like,
no, we're selling this building."
Yeah.
I'm excited because, with everybody that says that whenever a door shuts, something greater is coming. So I'm
Yeah.
excited for what's coming. I know that it's going to be even a greater studio that we're going to have, something better for more agents to come and, see what we can offer for them. And, we're going to have also more room for other agents to join us.
So that is one of the things that we were talking about, right? Is that we had already outgrown this office, right? We essentially have almost all the left side of the building here, right? And so we had already talked about it, but we still had another 2 years on a lease. So we're just like, look, we're just gonna hang on to this until, or if something else comes up, we'll do it at that time, right? And so honestly, I think this is a blessing in disguise, because we do need more space for more realtors, and we were already looking for another office, a smaller one, right? For our agents on the south side, right? And I think this is a sign, right, telling us not to get an office in the south side, because the south side is a terrible place. But we're gonna stick with downtown, but we're gonna get somewhere where we can fit all our agents. Vick is on his road to 100, right? When we hit 100 agents, it just blows up from there, and we're gonna have free parking. I guess that's gonna be a plus for everybody.
I think so. That's what I've heard a lot of other agents saying about the parking out here and the traffic.
Yeah.
But-
So
No, like I said, and then having a space where all the agents can meet, and it's just another, mingle where you can just, feed off of each other. So I think it's
Yeah.
going to be good.
Yes, I'm really excited for that. I feel like in here, like our office was like kind of getting a little too small for us,
yeah.
and everybody was like crumbled up in like in one box basically. And with bigger space, like everybody can have like better opportunity to be in front of somebody that they want to learn from or something like that.
So I come from that type of sales environment, right? Where you have all the salespeople on the floor. You have we used to call it a bullpen. That's like the back office where you eat, hang out, and just everybody just takes jabs at each other. And kind of
I want that.
It's kind of iron sharpens iron. A lot of people don't believe that. We just we got into this whole thing where a lot of the millennials kind of came into the market, and it just kind of turned into the, hey, don't say that and hurt my feelings, and let's be positive, and
Yes.
and honestly, I think that this new generation coming, what are the Gen Zs or whatever they are, I think these guys got it. I think these guys are coming in with, hey man, I don't want none of this soft parenting, weak stuff. Let's get to the let's get to the green, And so I think NAR has fast tracked our get back to the office, right? because now you have to do you don't have to, but we are requiring it here at Lionsgate Realty, right, for you to do your buyers your buyers consultations. You have to sit down with people now again.
Yes.
And just like Jovani said, all the companies are starting to say, hey, you know what, all this, working from home, being a
in your pajamas,
working in your pajamas, working while you're picking up your dry cleaners and doing all the household chores and stuff like that. It's done with. It's time for you to get back to work. Time for you to sit down in a room and lock yourself in there and bounce ideas off of each other to try to get to the next level.
Yeah.
And that's coming back. So I think this is a perfect time for us to move in and get our new office and thrive.
And to really double down on this point, I don't think a lot of people understand how important it is to be in office with other people who are doing what you want to do. I had this conversation with my sister the other day, and I was telling her about my meetings that I have, with my team. And then she was like, oh, you have meetings in person? Like, why don't you just do them online? And I was like, well, because they're sales meetings. And they're like, oh, I hate whenever my boss makes me, drive into work. Well, she's a nurse, right? So the meetings that they have are not going to be anything that's going to motivate somebody else to take care of the patient better, right?
Like a butt
that
chewing or
doesn't
something.
matter, right? So, but I was telling her, it's like for sales meetings, it's so important for you to be there in person, for you to show up to the office at least once or twice a week, for you to get that motivation from somebody else who's doing what you want to do. Because when you're starting off in sales, not only do you have to switch your mentality for most people, because sales doesn't come natural to most people, right? You not only do you have to switch your mentality, you have to wait quite a bit for your first check. So you might come in super enthusiastic, but second week, third week, fourth week, fifth week, sixth week, you don't get a check. You don't even got a client who's responding back to your text. You're coming in at the end of the year, the beginning of the year, everything's slow. You don't really know what you're doing. You're doing what they're telling you to do, and it doesn't seem like it's working. Well, if you're doing all of that by yourself, and you're enclosed, and you're in your own little bubble because you're not coming into the office, what are the only thoughts that you're hearing? It's not working. I don't know what to do. Is this going to work? Why isn't it happening now? Well, if you're in office with other people who already experienced that, they can tell you, hey, look, it's just going to be a matter of time. Come with me. Let's go. I'm going to show you how I do it. Or this is what I did whenever that was happening. Oh, yeah, man, you know what? My first 2 years, they were trash too. I thought I was about to quit, and then it just worked. It landed, right?
Yeah.
That's the important part. You're getting other people's opinions on what you're doing, because sales does not have a straight one route. You come in, you do this, you do this, you do this, and it's going to work. Sometimes you got to try 5, 6, 7 different things before it works. And if you're not around other people, and especially if you're around people who have a regular 9 to 5, they're just going to be telling, hey, it's not working, come get a job.
True.
And the thing is, it's funny that you say that, right? Because I actually have some clients that they're corporate in the corporate world, right? He's an engineer, 2 engineers, and they were partners, and they would get me on these conference calls. Okay, and these guys wanted to have me on the phone for almost an hour, essentially talking about the same thing and bouncing ideas off of each other, right, of what we're gonna do. And I'm like, it's not that hard. You're overthinking this. Let me do my job. Let me get off my phone and market this property, and let me do what I have to do. And so I had the same thing too, where I had a manager that was promoted, right? And the manager's like, well, why do we have to meet in person? Why do I have to see these people? I could talk to them on, I could talk to them, through Zoom or through Teams and stuff like that. And it's like, and I told him, I said, sales, whenever a salesperson, it's personal, okay? Just like when you go out there and you're dealing with your clients, you're reading the room, you're reading the person, you're reading the family, you're reading the body language, you're analyzing everything.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing whenever you're managing realtors. You have to see them in person. You have to see their facial expressions when you're teaching them something. Do they not get it? Do they not agree with it? Do they not believe in it? These things don't always come out vocally, especially if they're at home and they're dealing with their, with other things in the household, and they're, trying to listen to your meeting, So I think it's really important for you to meet with your sales team in person. This is one of the reasons why, these iBrokers don't work, because they try to do everything online. You know, they try to make it easier for you. But what happens is that they lose the intuition. They lose the connection. They lose all of that.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's just like you could talk to somebody until you're blue in the face, and the person is at that moment is going to agree with you. They'll be like, yes, that makes sense. That's awesome. That's great. But once you cut that line, that feed, and they get back into reality at their home, what do they usually do?
Just revert back to the old habits.
Get right back into what they were doing, you know? So that's why it's like, you know, they get up, they come here, the whole way up here, they're you know, these emotions are needed.
Yeah.
Being nervous, you know, to get to a sales meeting is needed. Getting, you know, being anxious about what your sales manager is going to tell you, what your boss is going to tell you, it's needed. And you know, and it's funny because, you know, we can tie that back into you know, the event that we went to, right, with the Skeet shooting. There was people, they were like, oh my God, I'm nervous. I've never shot a gun, you know? And these are people that are, you know, just killing it in the real estate market. That just, you know, you've never seen these people nervous. And they're like, oh my God, I'm nervous. I've never, you know, shot a gun, you know, I've never done this before. I don't know what to do. And, you know, everybody's holding a gun. I was a little bit nervous too, because there's some people out there should not have been holding a gun. But yeah, I was, you know, like those are emotions that are needed. And it's really easy when you work from home, when you're doing everything online, it's really easy for you to be almost like an alter ego, you know, just be fake, you know, and unfortunately, you know, I think we talked about that today, right? You know, we have a realtor that you know would come around us a lot, talk about he wants to join, and he never joined. It was almost like we took away all the objections, say, hey, look, whatever you want, just join us, and he wouldn't.
Yeah.
And then I think it was you said, I said, well, I mean, he probably, you know, he's been capping about all the closings he does, you know, off market. When he comes here, we're gonna see that. You know, he wasn't about that life, you know, and you know, sometimes people, you know, don't want to humble themselves and just say, hey, you know what, you're right, you know, I need what you got.
Yeah.
I think for any company, like the peer pressure is necessary, and I feel like
Yes.
you know, us, you know, having that open space to be able to be in front of other people, maybe like the people that we want to be like, it's definitely like, you know, needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think he was saying coming back into the office, doing it in person, because then that's going to kind of get you out of your comfort zone talking to your clients. And what if you're an introvert person that you're just kind of don't know what to say? So, you know, or you're at home and just in a slump, nothing's working, and you're just going to start getting bogged down. And if you're at home, you're just going to be under that cloud. Hopefully, once you come out here, you start talking to everybody else, and of course, you know, maybe shine a little bit of sunlight on you. And then that way you could, you know.
And at home, you could have the most positive people trying to support you, but if they're not in the business of sales, they don't know how to help you.
They don't.
You know, so sometimes even if they're trying to help you, they might be leading you down the wrong path. Like, oh, you know, don't worry about it. Just continue to do what you're doing. And what you're doing is not working.
Exactly.
Right? So you need to be around other salespeople so they can tell you if what you're doing is BS. And then sometimes a lot of the reasons why people don't even come in person is because they know that what they're doing is BS.
Yeah.
And they just don't want to be called out on it.
They'll be called out,
Right? And then they'll tell
you.
No, exactly. No, there's some realtors that I tell all the time, like, you got to come here in person so I can help you do this. And there's certain things that I will not help them do unless they're here in person. And the reason why I won't do it is because I got to see how bad you want it. If you're telling me you really want to do this and you're not showing up, and I'm telling you I'm going to be here, these are my days that I'm full-time in office, and I separate that day for my realtors to come and show up whenever they need me to. I'll be here until 8 or 9 o'clock at night. I'll be here as early as 9 in the morning, right? Because I don't necessarily have a life outside of this. So I can be here all day, and I make that time for you guys. And if I tell you to come and show up and your excuse is, oh, well, traffic was backed up, or the worst one, oh, well, it was raining. Okay, well, obviously you don't really want it that bad, right?
Yeah.
So I'll leave it up to you. Like, I'm not going to beg you to make you do what you're supposed to do to achieve the things that you want. I will make myself open to help you, though.
And I keep saying millennials, right? But I just think social media in general, it made a lot of things, you know, bad. You know, so, you know, if you think about it, right? Bullying, right? Peer pressure, right? Humility, right? even gossip, right? It made it all bad. But, being peer pressured, right, into succeeding, that's a good thing. Being bullied a little bit, into succeeding, that's a good thing. Gossiping about positive things that somebody else has done. Oh my God, did you see what he did? That's a good thing. Being humble, saying, hey, you know what? You're right. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. What do I need to change? Let me put this down. Let me stop doing these things. And, but no, everybody wants to go to the extreme, and that's why we're in this issue right now, So.
No, I believe it.
Well, like I said, you guys know, if you're looking for a brokerage who actually does put time apart for their realtors, they have managers who set time apart for the people that they're managing. We're here to help. That's who we are. But if you're going to come in here with a inflated self of ego, with stuff that you're not going to put the work in, and you think you're just going to get deals just because, that's not how it works. I mean, we're not even in that kind of market. So if you want to be that type of person, even if you have really good connections, if you don't know how to utilize them properly, you're going to drop the ball. And especially those people who are looking to do something, especially if they come with money, like, you need to know what you're doing. So we're here to help as many people as we can. We're going to be making a move, so we won't have this office in downtown until the 12th. But we're going to start moving stuff out anyways already, right? Well, but we do have an office in other places. We have 2 in 1960 and the 2 in Spring.
Yeah.
So we do have other offices, and of course, I'll try to accommodate my meetings that I do, weekly ones. I think we'll probably do Starbucks or something. I don't know.
I think this office.
At my Eddie's house while he's barbecuing in the back.
I think this office was. So I'll tell you a story about this office and why I chose an office in downtown. Okay, when I started my brokerage, right, it was around the time when a lot of brick and mortar brokerages started going under and stopped having offices, right? And then you started getting all the iBrokers coming in and stuff like that. So at first I thought it was a good idea. I was like, well, you know what? Nobody needs an office anymore, Starbucks was huge at the time, so we could meet at Starbucks, we could meet here, we could meet there, we could meet at restaurants, everything, we don't need an office, right? Yeah. So then whenever we started heavily recruiting real estate agents, right, to start my brokerage, we always had people say, well, you don't have an office, so I don't want to go with your brokerage because you don't have an office. And I'm like, okay. So we ended up recruiting a lot of agents regardless of having an office. So then one day, we're like, you know what? We're gonna need an office because I can't have agents coming to my house. I can't be meeting with agents everywhere all the time. So I opened up an office. At the time, there was a lot of stuff going on in the Woodlands, right? A lot of people from Mexico City were coming there. A lot of development. So I said, at the time, it made sense. I opened up an office in the Woodlands, right? So I opened up an office in the Woodlands, and I started asking real estate agents, we started recruiting, and they're like, oh, no, you're too far. You're in the Woodlands. I'm like, okay. And then the agents that had harassed me for an office for so long never came to the office. They didn't see the benefit in it. Yeah. And so then we had the office there. Well, I'm not sure how long. I think like 3 years, or I don't remember how long. And then we started looking for another office, and I said, what's a great idea, right? Let's open an office that's centralized to everybody. So nobody will have an excuse that the Woodlands is too far, or that the North Side is too far, right? And so that's why we decided to open an office here. Now, we did think through the parking, right? We said, anybody who gives us a hard time about parking doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Second, I didn't want people popping in on me, because when I was in the Woodlands, I had title people, mortgage people, the alarm system people just popping in on me nonstop. I could not get a day's work without somebody knocking on my door, trying to give me a notepad with pens and a mug, Yeah. And so I said we'll eliminate that, and like I said, anybody who gives us a hard time about parking doesn't want it, and it's actually worked to our benefit. I mean, people who give us a hard time about coming here doesn't want it, and you know what? We didn't need them. So, that's true. It's a little bit sad, right? Because
but it's a good test.
Yeah, it's sad for us, because we've been here for a long time, right? And we honestly never planned, even because we were already planning on getting another office, a bigger office, in the downtown area with free parking. But we were always going to keep this office as, because of the, the Lionsgate logo has been up there this whole time,
It's a
sort of
good
a
advertising.
landmark.
Yeah, it's a landmark
good
now. Honestly,
advertising and
in my opinion, I feel like it's a landmark, right? Maybe nobody else, but yeah. So it's a sad time, and a lot of my kids, all my kids are adults now, but I remember bringing them here, sitting them in the couch while I was working, and it's pretty sad. But
Yeah.
you know what? We're going on to bigger and better things, and one day we're gonna drive by here and we're gonna remember the great times we had. So
Yep.
And I'm going to
Sure.
request a petition to put a bell in the other office.
yeah, right. That'd be a great idea, definitely. Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, if you are looking for a brokerage here in Houston, we are currently recruiting. Like I said, if you feel like your goals and ideals align with us, we will give you the time of day, listen to you, and see if you're a perfect fit. If not, go find another broker. But again, we're going to try and stay live no matter what. Even though we're not going to be here at this one, you'll catch us at our other office. So we'll be still here every Thursday. Until next time.
See y'all.
Thursday or Wednesdays?
Well, I upload on Thursdays.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
There